Okay, action resumes. It is the Junior Max category, Heat 1. On pole, it'll be Casper Schumann with Scott Marsh. Waiting this race director to give the green light. It's aborted. Red light. The race start is aborted. Red light is aborted. So once again, they are out on the formation lap. They'll be lining up 2 by 2. As mentioned, it is on the front row, Casper Schumann with Scott Marsh. On row 2 will be Armand Hamilton and Austin Gale. Vong Sapat Katsri and Ishan Nadesh in row 3. Row 4 is Jacob Lauter and Ryan C. Row 5, Narum Path and Katrina E. Row 6 will be Kitinat and Alexander Seymour. Chan Yanuch and Gianna Pascal in row 7. Row 8 will be Ethan Ong and Muhammad Anaki with Putra Hendra Adi and Siri Kongsi in row 9 and Luigi Saw in P10. Now they come out 2 by 2. Hopefully they get a good start this time. Information. Riding out 2 by 2, line astern. Getting onto the tram lines. And this time the race director gives a green light. It is a 10-lap race into turn 1. Cleanly into turn 4. First, second, and third. That's cut 231 on screen, being following cut 202. Casper Schumann still in the lead. 231, Austin Gale has moved up to P2, but under attack into the hairpin. It's cut 201. So Scott Marsh recovering his P2 position behind Casper Schumann's cut number 202. So currently first, second, third is Casper Schumann, Scott Marsh, and Austin Gale. Onto the front straight to start their second lap. Casper Schumann, Scott Marsh, Austin Gale, Armand Hamilton, Ishan Madesh, Katsuri, and Katrina E. Katrina E starting 10th has moved up to P10 alongside Jacob Lauter. On screen there you can see cut number 231 and 242 battling it out as Austin and Armand. Austin Gale and Armand Hamilton started from the second row. They're still in third and fourth. Armand on the inside of Austin Gale. Cut number 242 snatches P3 from Austin. Just behind them is cut number 255. That's Ishan. But looks like the man on the move is Armand Hamilton. Casper Scott holding station at first and second, but Armand is on the move. He's got a clear track ahead of him. He's now focused on chasing Scott just up ahead. That's 255 and 231 battling it out. That is Ishan trying to overtake Austin into turn 3. Unable to do so. Ishan driving cut 255. Caught in a sandwich between Vong Sapat and Austin. Looking over his shoulder there. Driver number, on the inside, tries to make a move, 255, that's Ishan onto Austin. Couldn't quite pull it off. So now, Austin trying to cover Ishan while focusing on chasing Arman ahead of him. Looks like Arman's closed up on Scott. The gap is now down to 0.7 of a second. Casper has got barely a lead, just 0.3 second onto the front straight. We see a move being made there at 255 on the outside. Ishan trying to go down the outside. Austin, that's not going to work. Ishan not at turn 2. Into turn 3, Austin lives to fight another day. Stays ahead in P4. It's 2-3-1. Austin defending from Ishan. Looks over his shoulder. Ishan is still there. Vong Sapat meanwhile has been dropped slightly. But first, second, third now getting a bit closer. They are matching lap times, first, second and third. But no position changes yet. Fastest man on track currently is P3 Arman, a 1:02.831. Just 1/10 of a second faster than the two drivers ahead of him. Once again, Ishan gets a draft toe from Austin. This time round, he makes a move on the inside and passes Austin cleanly and takes P4 from Austin, but Austin tries to fight back into turn 4. But Ishan hangs on and stays ahead of Austin for P4. Austin is fighting back. Ishan still holding ahead. After that nice pass into turn 2. Now onto the back straight. Looks like the two leaders have pulled away from Arman slightly. What can Ishan do now with a clear track ahead of him? Will he close up on Arman, or will Austin fight back? Meanwhile, up ahead, the gap is now down to 0.2 of a second. And looks like Austin is not giving up. He is chasing Ishan. He wants to regain that P4. But first and second now, getting even closer. It's still 202 from 201. Casper Schaumanns from Scott Marsh. Arman now on his own. Only 0.199 the gap between Casper and Scott. There you go. Best lap that Casper has done is a 102.811. As Scott Marsh in P2, a 102. This is the battle for P1. Scott Marsh versus Casper Schaumanns. 5 laps to go. Onto the front straight one more time. Looks like Scott is closer to Casper than previous lap. Will he try to make a move on the inside at turn 1? It's not close enough. Arman Hamilton, he's got a grandstand view of the action ahead of him. It looks like on the infield section, Casper is much closer to Scott. Scott is much closer to Casper. The gap down to 0.159. Arman Hamilton, a 102.723. Four laps to go between the top 3 guys, Casper, Scott and Arman. They are duking it out. A long race battle. 10 laps. Now onto the front straight this time round. Is Scott much closer, or has Casper done enough to pull away? Into turn 1. It's still status quo between the top 3 guys. Ishan still ahead of Austin. Vong Sapat and Katrina E betting it out for P6. With Jacob Lauter in P6. P7. 3 laps to go. Casper versus Scott versus Arman. First, second, and third. Onto the back straight. Scott takes over, look over his shoulder. Arman is still there. Arman this time around closes up on Scott. Will it be Arman who takes second instead of Scott taking first from Casper? Battle there, cut number 224. Putra versus Gianna in battle for 16. 217 versus 224 into the hairpin. Back to the race leaders on the front straight. It's still Casper from Scott. Look. Penultimate lap, 2 laps to go. It's still 202 versus 201 with Arman just behind them. Casper, Scott, and Arman battling it out for P1 with 2 laps to go. Defensive line there by Casper. Onto the infield section. Coming out to the front straight. Looks like Scott is much closer this time round. Not close enough to make a move into the hairpin. Casper looks over to his right. Yes, Scott is just there, Casper. He's not giving up. And now they are bumper to bumper into turn 4. Arman tries to go around the outside. It's the top 3 battle. Arman out-drags Scott onto the turn 6. And Arman takes P2 from Scott. So Scott, despite trying to fight for P1, end up in P3 thanks to Arman's move. What a battle on the last lap of Heat 1 for the Junior Max. Here in Langkawi, but Scott, a bad move there. Arman couldn't get a throttle early enough, and Scott regains P2 from Arman. This is the last lap with 3 corners to go. Here comes Casper, Scott, and Arman, who will take the checkered flag. It's cut number 202. Casper Schumann takes the win from Scott and Arman in P3. 255, Ishan takes P4 from Austin in 231. Katrina E in P7, Jacob Lauter in P8. Anaki, who started in 15, finishes in P9. Luigi So, who started last, is up to 12 with Ryan C alongside him in P13. Alexander Simo, Putra Ahendra Adi, Gana Pascal, and finally Ethan Ong in P18. We've lost one driver, Keaton Nutt. He did not cross the start-finish line. So that ends the Junior Max Heat 1.